Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Parshah at the Barber. We're obviously not at the barber shop. It's right before Pesach, only a few days. Better late than never, I guess. Maybe. Anyway, welcome back to another week. It's Parshas Metzora. There's going to be some beautiful information over here and some really good stuff. So it's Parshas Metzora. It obviously talks all about the person who has tzaras. I just want to preface this by saying that all the learning is in the merit of the soldiers on the front lines, for the safety of the soldiers on the front lines in Eretz Yisrael, for the return of the hostages. Maybe be reunited with them right now. Maybe we see the Geula Shlema, full redemption, and still spend this Pesach in Yerushalayim and eat the carbon Pesach. Anyway, so let's get into it. Number one, today is Yud Aleph Nisan. That's the birthday of the Rebbe, of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and it's a very special day. Many Hasidim like to give some kind of birthday present to the Rebbe, and I still have to think about what mine is. So I want to say that publicly, so that I'll have to follow up eventually and say what that birthday present is. Obviously, it's something spiritual, something that you take upon yourself for the furtherance of Judaism, whether it's personally or in a way that you can give to others. And I would encourage you to do the same. Now, Parshas Metzora. So a few things. Number one, I just saw a really beautiful story about Rabbi Yehuda Assad. Rabbi Yehuda Assad was a very great rabbi. I'm not exactly sure in what era. Maybe it will tell me over here. In the year Tafkuf Nun Vav. So a little bit over 200 years ago. Almost 230 years ago. He was born, and he was the Rav in Sardaheli. He had a big yeshiva over there. Now, there's a story said that there was once that when he found out about a certain woman who passed away, he asked that her once they do the cleaning of the body as they're supposed to, so they should bring the coffin. There's another better word for it that I wanted to bring, but I'm forgetting it right now. And bring it into the base medrash where they would learn. Where they were learning, and he already had a huge yeshiva with many, many students, many, many scholars, many, many great Torah students, and great Torah scholars. And he told the people of the Chevra Kadisha, he said, I want this lady to be brought into the shul, and we're going to say a hesped, a eulogy for her. Now, this is this was not the custom at all. A eulogy done in the base medrash is only done for, very important rabbis. So to bring a random lady into, random, we'll understand soon what happened, but to bring this lady into the shul to make a hesped didn't seem right for the head of the Chevra Kadisha, for those who, Chevra Kadisha, for those who might not know, for those who take care of all of the needs of the deceased and the burial and all that. So he wouldn't change his mind. Rabbi Yehuda Assad, he said, you must bring her, until they had to bring her. And once they were there, he starts to explain that everything you see here, the yeshiva, the students, the great center of Torah that we have here in Sardaheli is only thanks to this woman. Let me explain to you the story. And he starts saying a story. There was once a boy who was an orphan. And this boy had leprosy. And that's the connection to the Parsha, obviously. And because people were afraid of it being contagious, they didn't allow him into the base medrash. He wasn't able to learn, and people wouldn't invite him into their house, and he went days and days and days hungry, very, very painful, He was. You could imagine many times probably he went without eating for days. So you can imagine the suffering he had from hunger, and he had. I mean, he had nobody in his life. He was all alone, and he was at some point he was crying in the street, and the lady came over to him and asked him what's going on, and he tells her his whole story, and she had such mercy on him. She brought him into her own home, and she didn't care about the fact that it might be contagious or not. I don't know if leprosy is a contagious thing, but it doesn't matter. I guess people then definitely believed it was. And she brought him in, and she took care of him until he got better. And not only that, he stayed in their house, and he learned in the Beis Medrash. He was able to learn. I mean, again, it doesn't say he learned in the Beis Medrash, but I'm guessing once he felt better, he learned. He was able to learn because he was staying at her house, and they fed him and raised him until he became an adult. And he went off and he became who he was, Yehuda Assad. And he said that it's everything that we have here, we all owe it to her. And he cried bitterly, and he obviously said beautiful words about her, and in the eulogy. I just want to mention, I don't know if I remember learning this about Rabbi Yehuda Assad, what I'm about to say right now. I don't remember if we ever included it in the Parshah stuff, but there is a story about him, about how his students wanted a picture of him, and he never allowed himself to be photographed or painted. I don't know if they had. I don't know when the first camera was invented, but I don't know if it was a painting or a photograph. But they have one of him because the students wanted something of his, a memory of him after he passed. And so after he passed away, they quickly dressed him in Shabbos clothing, and had his portrait taken. It wasn't the right thing to do, and a lot of those people, I think all of the people involved, it didn't end well for them. But even though they had good intentions, it's a disgrace for the body to leave it like that, to be captured like that after passing. Never mind the fact that he didn't want his image to be replicated. Now, I just wanted to mention something really beautiful that I read here. That is about that the Metzora, the person who had tzaras, obviously it was very embarrassing for him. He had to leave his house, and he had to sit outside of the city, or in the midbar. They would have to sit outside of all the camps, away from everybody. And overall, it was a very embarrassing and painful experience. Now, when he did teshuvah, however, right, when the person accepted upon himself what he had to accept upon himself, and he went through it. And he went through the idea of teshuvah, when he went through teshuvah, returning to Hashem. So the exact opposite happened. It says that the kohen went out of the city because he had to go to him, right? So he has to go to him to check him, to see if now the tzaras went away and he can come back. This is from the Sefer Sifsei Kohen, not the Shach, a different Sifsei Kohen. I believe there are two different people. He says that once the Kohen was going out of the city, so a bunch of people would follow him because this was an important person. They want to know what's going on. They want to see the process of how you make someone who had tzaras, how you can say that it's kosher for him to come back and that he's purified and that he's healed. And so people would see a gathering, and they would ask, where are you going? And people would answer, we're going to go see the person who had tzaras and be mitzvah him and purify him. So for all the embarrassment that he had before, now that he did teshuvah, that he repented, he actually was given great honor, and it was known to everybody that he was being accepted back into the community. So that was something beautiful I read here. Okay. Anyway, that is what we have for today. I'm sorry for the lateness, guys. A lot going on. And yeah, welcome back to another week. We're going to wrap it up. And I want to wish everybody a kosher Freilich Pesach, because that's about to come up. I want to wish everybody together, for the whole Am Yisrael, that we should all experience the Geula Shlema before Pesach, so we can spend Pesach in Yerushalayim with Mashiach, with the Geula, with finally where we'll have peace worldwide, and where everyone will see the truth of Hashem. And if you made it to the end, you're a legend. Thank you for being here. Hope you found this informative and entertaining. And until next time, good Shabbos, guys.